Sister Kate here. Welcome back to For God Live. Can you hear those birds singing? Yeah, when you come to my channel, you are coming out of her because this is what's in my background. When I make comments to you, I'm taking time out of my busy day to shoot a video like I am now. And I'm right here by the dehydrator, and at my feet, I think I can get it in the shot, is my basket full of supplies because I'm going to take herbs and vegetables that have dried in that dehydrator, and I'm going to put them in containers to be used later. That is my life. That's my actual life. Like right now, my husband and I are doing all the physical chores that need to be done for our off-grid life. We're bringing in water, we're changing out the humanure, composting toilets, we're weeding in our garden, which has gotten completely out of control, as it does every year. We've had lots of sun, lots of rain, and so the weeds are just as happy as the plants we plant to eat. So we've got to do battle with them. And it's a constant battle because they're striving in life to reproduce just as hard as everything else is, and we've got to remove the ones that are harmful and leave the ones that are beneficial. And even with them, we use some to feed the rabbits and the goats and so forth. So we're really trying to be useful with what we do. I shoot these videos on my phone. I do get reception. It's crazy out in the middle of the mountains in the Ozarks. But I am not living the convenient modern life. Absolutely not. There's no power except for solar to the cottage. There's no running water at the cottage. All the water that we're cleaning with, we have to move by hand in 5-gallon buckets. I have to boil it before I use it to wash, and we have to boil it before we take a bath. So when I give you advice, when I'm taking time out of my very busy day to try to pass on wisdom, it's coming from a true desire to help people. It's not coming from, oh, well, I've got this high-class condo and this fast car and this, expensive habits where I go out and buy $1,000 pairs of pants, and I'm trying to get as many views as I can so that I can support that lifestyle. That is not us. We could live out here and not do videos at all if we wanted to. Because our finances, we sorted out a long time ago. We gave it serious thought, we made decisions, and what we're doing right now is based on those decisions that we made way back when. Way back when other people were doing things like running up their credit cards and making sure they had a good $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 worth of debt. Pastor and I were doing it without, so we wouldn't be in debt. And not being in debt was one of those things that was passed on in our families. It wasn't something we discovered just on our own. We had a foundation laid for us about that. So when we're giving advice to you, it's not coming from what am I going to gain out of giving you my advice. It is out of a desire to improve anything and everyone around us. Why would anyone care? Well, you just have to understand the heart of a person. It's linked with faith, but it's also linked with who we are as people as well. So with all that preamble, I just wanted to let you know I appreciate you coming. I'm hoping that my advice is helping people. That is the goal. And the video is actually about Yahweh or chaos. And I've had a lot of people watching videos that I've done lately that are not from what I would consider my sphere of life. They're not older women. They're not settled. They're not necessarily faithful people. Not faithful, but believing people. They're not from my same socioeconomic background. There's probably a bunch that are either lower or higher, not as many middle of the road. They're angry. They've had some life experiences that have made them bitter. And in listening to their testimonies and reading what they're commenting on my videos, what is going through my mind is, wow, that's chaotic. Wow, that's chaotic. And I don't think I'm being reactionary when I say, like, divorced life sounds chaotic. On TV, they portrayed it as, oh, this wonderful, we'll all get along and we'll all be happy and whatnot. It sounds chaotic. Into the court systems, out of the court systems, and visitations, and dropping people off, and picking them up, and, how do you do parent-teacher conferences? How do you do holidays? It just sounds chaotic. And on the other side, I have experienced Yahweh, his feasts, which set a calendar for each and every year to be freed of all the chaos that comes with the holidays that are pagan, that are scheduled in and are fake and last 3 weeks long and just utter chaos. That's the only word, people stressed out and people talking about, oh, I've got to do this and I've got to do that and I've got to do this and I've got to do that. When you get on Yahweh's schedule, it's a lot more relaxed. You have a vacation once a week, and then you have vacations 3 and 4 times a year around his feasts, and it is a peaceful existence. The other part of Yah's way that makes it peaceful and not as chaotic as the world is the fact that he has definite rules. He has definite yes and no. And it's actually more confusing for life if it's a, well, I don't know, let's decide. Because every time you have to take one of those decisions, it's harder on you. It's harder on you to decide, how am I going to do it? What am I going to do about it? I remember my son saying when we got Torah, oh, now it all makes sense. As a Christian, I never knew where the line was. I can do something sinful and I can repent of it, and the next day I'm right back where I was. Where in Torah, there is a clear delineation. It's this way or it's that way. And that makes your way so much easier. So yesterday, and I think the day before, Pastor and I, at least I, enjoyed one of the most peaceful moments I have had in my last 50-some years. Just absolute peace. The shalom was overwhelming. Perfect temperatures, perfect humidity, perfect satiation, Yesterday's lunch was just amazing, at least for me. And almost all of it came out of the garden. I've been experimenting with cooking, with different flavors, with different ways to cook the food, to make it taste better. And yesterday's lunch was just perfect. And that shalom comes from, planning. It comes from lifestyle choices. I can't imagine now being in traffic. We have to drive 5 miles, and at the most about 20 to get anywhere we want to get to. And we can drive farther if we want to. It's just not worth it anymore. I cannot imagine being a commuter and bumper to bumper traffic with the lights and the noise and the braking and the accelerating, and then getting to a building, a huge concrete edifice full of other people, and all the noise and the interaction, and you have to appear a certain way and you have to behave a certain way. I can't imagine it. Going up in an elevator and just, all that stale air. Ah! So, Yahweh's way is this way. Come out of her, my people. You are not meant to be living in buildings that are like one on top of another, that are 100 stories tall because of the stress. That's not what God intended for you. Yes, you get all the amenities. That's the lure of the world. And I know you don't believe it, but if you spend a little time just thinking about it, there is evil in the world. Satan is out there. He's able to be out there because God allows him to be there. Well, Sister Kate, why would God allow something like that? Because he doesn't want you to be a robot. He wants you to have choice. If you just lockstep said, yes, Father, what good is that? He wants you to choose him, to choose his way. And when you do, he makes your way easier. Jesus' burden is light compared to that of the world. And my son made another point. Hebrew slaves get 1 day off a week. They get Shabbat off, whether they're, serving somebody or not. The world doesn't allow that. The world doesn't care. The world wants what it wants, and it will use you and throw you away. So I'm going to offer that up to you. Look at how I'm living. Yes, I have to do physical work every day, but man, the shalom is so amazing. I'm going to offer that up, and I'm going to thank you for coming to my channel and wishing you all the best. Bless you. Shalom. It means peace.